I guess the other thing that I would just like to say is that it's about the work that we need to do, and as Julie and Karen explained, we've got lots of work ahead of us. We need to get some surveys filled out to do some baseline data. We need to then make some plans for how we're going to go forward. And to do that, we're going to need the participation of people here. And so I just want to ask you a couple of questions, because I think we actually do things we don't really think about. But how many people in here have ever talked to their neighbor about the weather? Can you just put up your hand if you've said anything to your neighbor ever about the weather? I thought a lot of people might have. Has anyone in this room noticed that the weather is getting a little weird and wacky? You know, their storms are getting bigger, their floods are bigger, the tornadoes are wider. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. They're happening a little more often, they're a little more intense. If you have noticed that, please put up your hand. Yeah, me too. I want us all to start thinking in terms of using those keys as, you know, that's our planet that's talking to us. You know, it's sort of like going, hello, we've got a problem here in Houston. And so when you read about the next, you know, once in 300 year storm, which is what we're up to with the floods in Manitoba, or, you know, the third once in 100 year storm that's going through our area, or you're seeing, you know, the biggest hurricane in the history of the world, or whatever it is, use that as a signal to say, you know what, I need to go and talk to my neighbors, because we do talk about the weather. But when I'm talking to them, I think we also need to talk to them about making sure they're part of this project, making sure that they've actually gone and filled out the survey, making sure that they're part of the baseline data, and making sure that they're thinking about the solutions that we need to bring in to actually, you know, get the planet to quiet down a little bit. So please start thinking about those things, and please start talking to your neighbors about it. And every time you see something, use it as that, like, oh, right, I need to actually do something. So I need to get committed, and I need to renew my commitment and look for another opportunity, something else that I can do. We have up here on the wall a map, and this shows the area that we're working on. It's a section of the junction, and we started up near the tracks over near the corner of Runnymede. And this is our area. We had to define an area so that we can actually get some realistic statistics about where we're starting and where we go from. You don't have to live in this area to be a part of this project. We need all the help we can get, and this is just the starting point for what we're going to take and what we're going to go forward with. So do not feel that these boundaries exclude you. It's a measuring device, and that's what it's really about. You can do the survey even if you're outside of these boundaries, and you can help us come in and make sure we get the surveys done that we need in this boundary. Our goal is to get at least 600 people in this area to fill out the surveys in a relatively short period of time. We're hoping to be done this by the end of July so we can get on with actually finding the solutions. So we're going to need your help. We've color-coded the map, and we'll move it over at the end of the show, but or at the end of the launch, but we have people sitting at a table over here, and in front of them are the street names for all of the streets that we're working on. If you live on one of those streets, we would love it if you could sign up and say, you know what, I'll help work on this street to get as many people to do the surveys as possible. If you don't live in this area, wait a little bit and see what streets are already taken, and then go and fill in your name under one of the other streets. Because we have, I think there are 14 streets in all. Some of them are smaller, some of them are bigger, but they all need to get done, and we need to actually start working together. If you have kids in the school, please talk to your kids about it. If you can get your kids engaged in helping you fill out the survey, that would be fabulous, because we need to educate our kids. Our kids are mostly educating us today, at least that's my experience with my children. They seem to be a bit ahead of my curve, but we need to get as many people as possible. So please, when we're done here, go and sign up, put your name down. You know, if you put your name down and then you think, oh, you know what, I didn't actually do anything yet, the next time, you know, the planet knocks on your door with a new weather story, use that as your reminder, oh, I got to get up, I got to go and talk to my neighbors about this.